Your Excellency, Dr. Zaki Nusseibeh, cultural advisor to the President, Chancellor of the UAE University. I am very pleased to be able to have an interview with you today. We just had a fireside chat about lessons learned from successfully negotiating the UAE Unification and our inaugural INSEAD-SUAD negotiation in the Middle East conference. And I'm very, very happy that you were able to come and that you are sitting here and all I could have the interview. One question I would like to ask you about Sheikh Zayed's vision and leadership. Sheikh Zayed had a visionary belief that a united federation would bring higher security and great development. Could you share some examples of how he translated this vision into concrete actions and decisions during the unification process?
First of all, thank you for inviting me to come and share with you this first conference that you have between the SUAD and INSEAD, two of my favorite institutions in France. And thank you for hosting me for this fire chat we had about the unification of the Sheikh Zayed's firm conviction was more than simply that we need to set up a federation in order to have a better developmental future, or in order to bring more prosperity to our people. His fundamental conviction was that given the region where we are living, which is a region riven with confrontations and struggle and competition between various powers, it was essential to build a federation to safeguard the integrity, the sovereignty, the security, the stability, the long-term viability of the Emirates. And because it was such a strong conviction, from the outset when he started early. He started in 1964 talking to William Luce, who was at the time a British diplomat visiting the area. He told him in 1964, while still governor in Al Ain, that his vision was for the Emirates to come together in a federation. And the report that was written then by William Luce was saying, no, this is a dream, it cannot be realized. And therefore, when I discussed during our conversation that in 1968, ostensibly, there was agreement that a federation will be set up, it took more than 2 decades for the federation actually to come about. And throughout these obstacles, these problems, these issues, Sheikh Zayed never lost faith or trust or confidence that it can be done, that he will succeed in convincing his fellow rulers, the brothers, about the necessity for this federation that will bring advantage and benefit to all around him. He did not have a personal agenda. He did not have an Emirati-focused agenda. In fact, some of his advisors would tell him, why be so enthusiastic if the others are not? Why not let us go our own path? And he will tell them, no, long term, our only good is in bringing everyone together. And it is our mission to use this God-given wealth in order to bring prosperity to all our brethren in the Emirates and then beyond as well. So at every time there was an obstacle. In one of the meetings, the rulers walked out, for instance, because the British political agent of the time came in, read a letter, a missive from the Queen that was not acceptable to some of the rulers there, but because there were really some issues brewing, differences in opinion about where to move next. He took it with wisdom, patience, kept communicating constantly with his brother rulers, and eventually all of them came on board, and they knew that his intentions were for the good of all. and that the vision was not threatening to any of their own strategies or vision, but on the contrary, it will help them in their the Emirates in order to also share in the prosperity and well-being that Sheikh Zayed wanted to share with them. And this is how the Federation succeeded, by having this faith unshakable, even when it seemed an impossible dream.
And in addition, as you mentioned on the panel, he was putting things in place which actually helped all the Emirates, right? Education, infrastructure, health. So he was not only talking, but he was proving his points by acting.
Absolutely. I mean, he started from the beginning, traveling through all the Emirates, staying weeks in each, receiving thousands of people who came to meet him, and starting a number of projects in every emirate, whether it's building of roads, of hospitals, schools, and financing the federal budget, and at the same time making sure that every emirate also, the ruling family retained its position, retained its... A lot of the aid was channeled through the ruler rather than directly. Of course, federal money was spent in projects that were infrastructural, but also he helped the Emirates. He wanted every emirate to shine in the same way that Abu Dhabi was shining.
Because he was in service, sorry to interrupt, right? As you said before, he was in service for...
His belief was that responsibility is a mission for service. Yeah. That his role was to be of service to his community, to those around him, and to mankind. I mean, his vision was really wide in its horizons, although at the same time, and as we mentioned, he both had the vision to think that we can achieve the impossible, but he was also a statesman to be able to accept the constraints, the limitations, the problems that sometimes arise, and then to design, to engineer ways of dealing with those eventually so that they can be overcome with patience, but a great deal of wisdom.
If you have one more moment, I would like to take the chance to bring up one more subject, which I really loved when we were talking on the panel, as I learned a lot. And nowadays, in our world of a lot of polarization and non-understanding, the importance of a majlis and the importance of consulting and trying to understand, really understand the interests of all parties, and how this culture from this region is able to teach perhaps the entire world, right? How we can foster a culture of negotiation which might be more fruitful and more fruitful.
You know, the Majlis as a social institution, we've already submitted it to be listed on humanities immaterial heritage with the UNESCO, because it is an important institution. And listening to the others is essential. Being able to understand the other is essential, based on this humanitarian drive that our leadership, starting with Sheikh Zayed and today's leadership, have towards helping others, based on the belief in tolerance as the right path for our religion and for our way of government, accepting people for who they are and for what good they can bring to their own communities, not making any ranking in people in accordance with their sect or their religion or their background or their color, working together to bring a common good. That were the core convictions of Sheikh Zayed that, as I said, continue in today's leadership. And this is why we have the UAE achieve the status that it already has in the world community.
I'm very thankful for Sheikh Zayed. I'm very thankful for you. And I'm very thankful to UAE to create such a place with all the developments on Saadiyat Island. So thank you so much for being here with us today and to paint such a great picture and to share with us what you have lived.
Thank you for being an integral part of the UAE's journey.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for your contribution.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.